My name is Jamie and my group chose the company Kellogg for our presentation. W.K. Kellogg originally created their signature cereal Corn Flakes in 1894, although the company wouldn't be founded until over 10 years later in 1906, and even then it wasn't originally called Kellogg's. The company was originally known as the Battle Creek Toasted Cornflake Company, which I'm assuming was named after where their headquarters are located in Battle Creek, Michigan. They also do a lot of work revolving around feeding hungry children, protecting our planet, and of course promoting positive nutrition, which is something they've been passionate about from the very beginning. Kellogg's mission statement is a bit of a struggle to find considering they don't provide one on their website. However, our group did find some through other websites and all agreed upon using the one listed, stating nourishing families so they can flourish and thrive. This made the most sense to us due to the fact that Kellogg actively tries to feed those who are hungry. The vision statement can be found on the Kellogg website, stating a good and just world where people are not just fed but fulfilled. The company does a lot of these things that aid those around the world, so it makes sense that that would be their vision. For their current strategic positioning, I chose that they utilize the focused cost leadership strategy. A focused cost leadership strategy is where a company provides the lowest cost to a narrow market. When researching Kellogg's competitors, you can find that Kellogg is somewhat cheaper than them, and they focus a lot on feeding the world, and it would only really make sense that they would provide lower, more affordable products if that was their end goal.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Anaya, and I worked in the group that focused on Kellogg's. For the group presentation, I worked on the 4 slides that include the target market, industry overview, competitor analysis, macro environment analysis slides. When we look at Kellogg's target market, they have 2 main target audiences. The first is the purchaser, who are usually the parents, and their second target market are usually the influencers, who are usually the children. The next slide I worked on is the industry overview. Overall, the food manufacturing industry is the largest sector of the global economy. This is because the food manufacturing industry has been around since the late 18th century. Also, food sales total about $2 trillion, so the US accounts for 37.5% of all sales. Other large markets include Western Europe and Asia, with China growing rapidly fast. They are also made up of almost 20 million workers, and the food industry relies on many different parts to continue to make it successful. Some of these parts are farmers, distribution, packaging, marketing, and retail. The third slide I worked on is competitor analysis. When it comes to the competitors analysis, we'll see that Kellogg's is very competitive when it comes to the food industry. This is because they believe in inclusion and diversity when it comes to their employees. So this has made Kellogg's a top company to work for because they include all of their employees. They offer maternity and paternity leave. They also promote health and wellness, and they also offer many programs that develop their employees. This way they can retain their employees, and it gives their employees a chance to advance through the company. The other thing that makes Kellogg's competitive is their production side. So this makes them competitive because they have manufacturing facilities in 20 countries. They are also sold in 180 countries. They are the first or second world's largest cereal maker. They are about the second largest snack maker, and overall they just have a strong product portfolio. The last slide I worked on was the macro environment analysis. This included the Pestel analysis. So the Pestel analysis is a strategic framework used to assess the political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors. When we look at the political environment, we can see that right now it is not well. We have seen and will continue to see big shifts not only in the US, but nationwide. And this is because there is much uncertainty and lack of trust. This can become hard because it can affect manufacturing and selling in other countries. When we look at the economic factor, we see that there is inflation due to the pandemic because people were ordered to stay home and less money was being spent, which meant less money was being put back into the economy. We are also seeing interest rates, gas prices, and grocery prices go up due to the inflation. Also, now that places are open for business, we are now seeing supply and demand issues, and we are still facing high unemployment rates because employees are just tired and feel unappreciated. When we look at the social factor, the social cultural aspect has changed and is continuing to change because of all the civil rights movements happening. People are finding their voices and finding it easier to stand up for what they believe in and to promote change. This can have a negative effect if some food manufacturing plants have union workers, since more people are willing to step up and voice their concerns, as it could lead to a strike and extremely slow down production. One of the big changes also happening is employees are demanding more work-life balance, and if not getting it, they are finding that quitting and staying home is a safer and more beneficial option for their family. Then we look at the technological factor. The pandemic shifted us into a remote learning, buying, and working environment. There was also more time and effort being put into online ordering, which meant less in-store shopping. With the apps that can be put on phones, they now can do things that computers could do. That way individuals can order or work from home anywhere and not have to worry about always being connected to the internet. With more places offering work at home positions, many people are now turning their back on working in offices, in restaurants, and even in manufacturing sites. When we look at the environmental factor, more companies are adapting better habits for a better carbon footprint. So a lot of emphasis is being put on recycling, emissions, and global warming on every level. The last factor we look at is the legal factor. And we've seen a lot of mandates around the COVID vaccine since the pandemic hit. Employees are looking at minimum wage going up and how that will affect them as a business and if they will be able to remain open or if they will have to close. The other laws being made all over the world that affect trading, manufacturing, and selling.
5 forces analysts. There are high threats of new entrants in processed and packaged goods, and Kellogg Company has to establish effective barriers to counter the competition. The bargaining power of suppliers in the market can reduce the profit margins for Kellogg Company. Existence of high customer bargaining power who intends to purchase products at a lower price, hence reducing the profits of the company. Substitute services and product threats. Various new products meet the customer requirements for Kellogg Company, thus affecting the profits negatively. Rivalry among the existing competition. The high competition in the processed and packaged industry affects the overall profitability of Kellogg Company. Marketing mix. Product. Kellogg Company is a food processing firm that produces various cereals and food products. Place. It is a global company that serves over 180 countries. Price. In determining the selling price, Kellogg Company products a market search and also the production costs, marketing costs, and profit. Promotion. The company's marketing strategy ensures that the consumers are aware of its products. CSR. CSR refers to corporate social responsibility. CSR of Kellogg Company ensures that the company undertakes policies and practices which have positive impact on society. Corporate social responsibility for Kellogg Company is categorized into 4. The marketplace provides consumers with quality food with nutrition balance. Environment, Kellogg believes that the conservation and protection of natural resources and crucial for enhancing sustainable growth. Community ambitions, the company provides support to deserving community members. Workplace ambition, motivates and supports talented and dedicated employees. Core competencies, research and development, innovation, technology, human resource, and marketing.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Carrion, and I'm going to be presenting the 4 slides, which are competitive advantages, financial analysis, and the SWOT for strengths and opportunities, and weaknesses and threats. To start off, Kellogg has been a longtime supporter and collaborator of the NAACP, which is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, to support the important work they are doing to create a society where everyone has equal rights and no one is discriminated against because of their race. Kellogg and their employees are helping to address today's society's concern as a leading plant-based food companies. Kellogg's has production sites in over 20 countries, allowing it to sell goods in over 180 countries across the world. They also are the world's largest cereal manufacturer and the second largest manufacturer of cookies and snacks, and has enabled the firm to distribute its products in over 160 countries throughout the world, providing assistance to farmers and cultivating foods, working to minimize waste and produce reusable, recyclable, and compostable packaging to lessen the environmental effect of operation. For the financial analysis, I have provided the following parts, which is total revenue, gross profit, operating income, net income, and they all start from July 2021 to April, just the latest, of 2022. Kellogg Company reported earnings results for the first quarter ended April 2nd, 2022. For the first quarter, the company reported sales that was $3,672 million compared to $3,584 million a year ago. Net income was $422 million compared to $368 million a year ago. The basic earnings per share from continuing operations was 1.24 compared to 1.07 a year ago. Diluted earnings per share from continuing operations was 1.23 compared to 1.07 a year ago. As we can see from most of the part, it has the increase in the total revenue as well as the net income. The line graph that I have provided will show the total revenue and the net income, which the blue would be the total revenue and the gray would be net income. They all seems to stay steady throughout the whole time. Some of the strengths and opportunities that Kellogg's offers is that they offer excellent marketing strategies, including several ads aimed specifically towards children's nutrition. The company is best known for its cereal, but it also sells crackers, nutrition bars, waffles, and vegetarian cuisine. Several CSR activities such as fighting hunger in collaboration with Walmart aid the brand. Kellogg's has many items for children and women. but is still weak in cereals for men and may consider launching a new product for guys. We can also increase the number of productions, product line expansions, and make the switch to online purchasing. Further weaknesses and threats on Kellogg's products are becoming out of date. Existing competitors are strong, adapting to change too slowly. People who work in offices have less time as the urban population grows, as they turn to takeaway outlets to save time. Competitors are selling similar things for less money. There are some gaps in the company product line. This scarcity of option may allow a new competitor to get a foothold in the market, and the present physical-based driven supply chain model may be threatened by changing customers' buying behavior through the internet channel. That's why going to online shopping would be a smart idea for Kellogg's.
Hello, I'm Yadira Solis, and I worked on the final 4 slides in the strategic analysis presentation. This includes the TOWS analysis, strategic plans, risks and responses, and the conclusion. So let's get right into the TOWS analysis. So as an overview, the TOWS analysis is an extension of the SWOT analysis and allows companies to understand the strategic choices based on internal and external factors. In this case, we are matching the internal components of the Kellogg's company to the external components. So strengths to opportunities, strengths to threats, weaknesses to opportunities, and weaknesses to threats. I'm going to do a brief breakdown of each. Starting with strengths and opportunities, these two factors are striving to maximize both strengths and opportunities of the company. So in general, we can ask, how can the Kellogg's company utilize their strengths to take advantage of the opportunities? One major strength that this company has is a strong brand portfolio. They have a variety of products that address the majority of needs from their diverse consumers. I know that whenever I think of Kellogg's, the first thing that comes to mind is their cereal, but they offer so much more, including breakfast foods, granola, plant-based proteins, snack bars, protein bars and shakes, and a huge section of frozen breakfasts. Some of the most familiar brands they have built upon are Eggos, Pop-Tarts, Cheez-Its, Corn Flakes, etc. So this is one of the biggest strengths I believe covers Kellogg's products as a whole. So now let's move on to opportunities that are external to the company. Now that new markets are opening up involving technological advancements, it gives Kellogg's an opportunity to enter a new emerging market. Next is strengths and threats. How can this company utilize their strengths to mitigate the threats? Intense competition has increased the number of similar industries over the last 2 years and has put pressure on Kellogg's profitability and overall sales. One action they can implement is setting competitive pricing. A competition-based pricing strategy allows the company to focus on the existing market rate for their products. With weaknesses and opportunities, Kellogg's has gaps within their product range, resulting in a competitive foothold in the market. But this now leads to an opportunity to gain customer feedback and refine their existing products, or develop new ones. With the following weaknesses and threats that were mentioned previously, Kellogg should adapt to the changing economy by creating a customer care team. That way, they can focus on prioritizing consumer needs while also gaining feedback. This next slide presents the future strategic actions I recommended for Kellogg's. In order to boost production and have a better position in the existing market, let's say they have an investment goal of $10 million to be reached within 5 years. By financing using the company's money, they are actually able to exceed their goal by producing an estimate of 32 to 33 million, allowing them to have the capacity to reduce costs, increase efficiencies, and become more competitive with companies that produce similar products. With any company plan, there are risks that may follow. In order to help Kellogg's reorganize its North American supply chain, by reducing costs, many employees will unfortunately be laid off over the next 5 years. There may also be legal risks in hiring after these layoffs. Kellogg's may be at risk of being sued for unlawful wage disparities by the employees who stayed with the company through tough times.
If new employees are being paid more than the workers who accepted pay cuts and additional work, there could also be lower morale and distrust within the workplace. I would respond to these risks by having managers keep in touch within the workplace and engage with employees often, letting everybody know what could potentially come to them in the future. It would also be best to conduct regular meetings about these implementations to let employees voice their concerns or opinions. Through my research with Kellogg's, I found out why they've been so successful for over 100 years. They have always aimed to be the company of choice, bringing awareness of the importance of a balanced lifestyle through their products. They have achieved a strong global presence, influential brand awareness, sustainable growth, excellent marketing strategies, as well as a community of loyal customers. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and thank you so much.